to just remind the Gold Coast Blaze that perhaps they erred in not being as aggressive to contain his services.
Oh, very well put. I think he's got some of that same Acteon for the Cairns Taipans as well.
He's got a bit of a list, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does. Good thing Ben Knight didn't feel like that, because he wouldn't have been able to not play for anybody against like that. He played for every team in the competition, I believe, and then some that quite a few that aren't even here in the competition anymore. As we're underway, Melbourne Tigers get the tip and first crack on their possession. Ron Dorsey, they always try and get something going for very early. Gets an air ball up, very difficult shot as De Leon turns the corner, trying, and he finds Adam Gibson, and he knocks down to 3 from the baseline. Good start for Adam Gibson and the Gold Coast Blaze.
He's had a real good month. Month of January's been very kind to him the last few games, stepping up with the points. That man, almost a carbon copy for his start to the game last week against the New Zealand. And he hit his first 7 in a row last week, and he starts off the same here tonight, and a turnover going away for the Melbourne Tigers. A little sloppy that time by the Gold Coast Blaze in their quest to get out and push the ball. That's the way they play, and that's the style that Joey Wright's renowned for. But tonight, I'm just not sure that's going to be the best strategy against the Melbourne Tigers.
Will Hudson doing what he does best on the offensive glass, but he kind of slid that pivot foot as he was trying to get his base underneath him, and picks up the turnover. Daniel Dillon brings it up for the Melbourne Tigers. We've played just over a minute. Chaga waits for the single coverage, shows a fake, comes up short on his jump shot against Petrie.
That time when you get your man off their feet like that, I should have been taking him to the rack, and even better advantage. Good shot, but there's a good pass, and good work on the glass by the Gold Coast Blaze.
Adam Gibson again squares his feet, can't get it to go. Daniel Dillon's got numbers, kicks it ahead to Ubaka, back to Dillon, back out to Ron Dorsey, catch and shoot for 3, rims out. De Leon with the rebound, brings it up. Gets it to Worthington for his first touch. Ball reversal to Gibson. Looked like he moved those feet a little bit. Will Hudson with another offensive rebound. That's his 3rd.
Been real aggressive on the offensive glass so far tonight. Melbourne Tigers need to do a better job of identifying some men and blocking out. And there's a good penetrating cut and drive by Mark Worthington. Get him involved in the offense as well. Wortho's had a solid season, but it hasn't been one of his best so far. He's shooting almost 15 points a game, but he's only at 40% from the field, and you'd expect him to be a little higher than that. And when you consider he and both Adrice De Leon, who's the 2nd leading scorer at 14.5 points a game, he's only at 38%. So they're 2 primary scorers not really shooting at a higher clip, which indicates there's more to give and more to get out of those 2 players in particular.
Exactly, and he used every inch of the rim on those 2 free throws to get him to go and give the Blaze a 3-point lead here in the early stages of the first. Little 7.5, a little over 7.5 in the first quarter. As Ubaka, his mismatch on Worthington. Worthington wouldn't think so. He's picked up guards in the past. He does a pretty good job on that exchange.
A lot of standing around when Ende Ubaka gets the ball. Adrice De Leon knocks down the 3-pointer.
Takes their lead out to 6. And doubles it with that 3-pointer. Dillon goes hard to the basket, puts it up soft off the window as he avoided the contact in the outstretched arm of Will Hudson.
Good de-acceleration. One of the hardest things when you're going flat out to the basket like he was, just to slow up and move slowly to the right. Real good body control by Daniel Dillon on that occasion. But defensive issues for the Melbourne Tigers. Gold Coast Blaze just scoring at will Anytime they don't score, they get an offensive rebound.
No kidding. They're just doing it however they like. And we figured that this game is going to have its fair share of easy baskets. Both teams have those defensive lapses where other teams score easily in transition. People don't get picked up. Some are in a zone, some are in man. We've seen it all happen for both of these. Just as I mentioned that, Cam Tragah gets a wide open layup on a baseline out of bounds.
In their earlier meeting this season, Steve, the Melbourne Tigers won 79-72, but it was on the back of a phenomenal defensive effort in the second half, where the Melbourne Tigers held the Gold Coast Blaze to only 20 points in the whole half. So they do have the answers and the formula to know how to contain the Gold Coast Blaze. We haven't seen it early on here in this one.
That game in particular, the Gold Coast Blaze only scored 6 points in the third quarter and then just backed it up with 14. Ron Dorsey with another tough shot, and that doesn't find the mark.
Really a nothing play, no motion, just one pass jacking it up.
De Leon somehow tips it to a teammate and then gets it back. Tigers weren't able to secure that rebound. Blaze on a pass that made it right between two of his teammates.
Very rarely when you leave your feet and you don't shoot it, does good things happen. And that's what happened there. And Idris De Leon just trying to avoid the travel. He knew where he wanted the ball to go, but split it between two. I think his target was going to be Mark Worthington. Couldn't quite get it to him with that angle.
Liam Rush, who's been in good form for the Tigers. Stephen Hoare checks into the game for the Blaze, and he's trying to contain Cam Tragah, which no one has been able to do all year. You talk about the Gold Coast Blaze, their 2 and 3 scores are shooting a low percentage. Well, Cam Tragah came in on the other boat.
Steve, have a look at the lineups that are out on the floor right now. We've virtually almost got 8 guards on the floor when you consider both these teams that are out there. Jason Caddy's come in for Anthony Petrie. So they've got Caddy, De Leon, and Adam Gibson all on the floor at the same time.
Outside the three-point line, all that lack of size out there. Maybe we'll see some fireworks from the perimeter. Here we go. Adam Gibson comes up about 2 feet short as Tommy Greer put a bit more pressure on him than he anticipated. Rush into Tragah. He spins baseline. That'll count if it goes, but he'll go to the line for 2. And this man, this is how he accumulates points.
Well, he does, and if he was a better free throw shooter, he would have a lot more. We see the spin move, little drop step, and they're going to go to that all night if they're going to put Adam Gibson trying to contain Cameron Tragah.
Here, about halfway through the first quarter, it's the Blaze on top by 1, 10-9. We'll be back.
1980, he built the wall with Pink Floyd. 1990, he tore it down in Berlin. Now, 2012, he returns with his masterpiece of rock theater. Roger Waters presents The Final Brick in the Wall at the Entertainment Center Saturday, February 4. All the songs from the legendary Pink Floyd album. Don't miss out. Book final show tickets now through Ticketek. Roger Waters Live, presented by Michael Koppel and 4KQ.
23 right here, right now. Keep the ball moving a lot faster than what we're doing. If you're open,
tracing him.
keep shooting. There we go. Good job.
I think he's in the 4 right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Keep working.
Well, Trevor Gleason not happy with the defense, well, the board production of the Melbourne Tigers, pointing out the fact that Will Hudson's got 3 offensive rebounds already. He was fingering Cam Tragah on that one. They've got 11.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, nor should he. They've been pathetic on the boards to start this game. They're getting out rebound 11-3. So it doesn't take a genius to know where you need to pick it up. And clearly the Melbourne Tigers, if we have a look at the rebound count on our screen, there it is, 11-3.
It looks worse.
Some of those
actually, you know,
in
on a graphic.
But combined with that, when a lot of those 11 are coming on the offensive end, just giving the Gold Coast Blaze too many opportunities. Cameron Tregar has lifted his free throw shooting percentage this season to 55%.
So, you know what he ought to do is maybe dribble around and get a rhythm at the free throw line, because he doesn't miss those when he's in the regular flow of the game. Mark Worthington gets one outside the three-point line. De Leon's been hustling to get those offensive rebounds in the form of loose balls. Adam Gibson looking for Worthington. Skips it over to Jason Kadee. That'll count. And Jason Kadee turned down to 3, puts it on the floor, gets fouled, and will try and complete the three-point play.
Good move by Jason Kadee, putting it to the floor. I know he played in the NBL last season, but this is his really first season because he missed a lot of the start of this last season with a horrific hip and leg injury that he sustained in a really ugly car crash, which he was lucky to survive, let alone play basketball again. But he fully recovered from that. I think from now on we'll start to see the best of Jason Kadee.
Contact, no call. And Jason Kadee just blazed through the entire Melbourne Tigers lineup out there. He's showing his jets. You know, Jason showed me pictures of his car after the accident, and it is a miracle that he survived, much less playing basketball now.
Oh, it was horrendous, and it's great to see him back. And he has been to a few Boomers camps, went to the AIS, and is one of those players that is touted as a potential Olympian, and he's still very much on the radar. But had that setback. We see the work. And what happens when you have such a small lineup out there, which the Gold Coast plays, and it is so obviously small, you generally find that there will be a more conscious effort on the glass, and they're getting rewarded so far tonight with that small lineup that the Gold Coast players have been running with.
Well, everybody went for their rebound assignments. With the lack of size, a rebound is a real lottery. As Daniel Dillon fires away outside the three-point line, Stephen Hoare does a good job of keeping it in bounds. Kadee getting it up in a hurry. Gibson, Stephen Hoare turns it down. Blaze slow it down. Kadee waits for the on-ball. Garland.
12 got it from behind, Trev. 12.
Fouls on Daniel Dillon.
I was going to say, I thought Tommy Greer had real good defensive position on that weak side to take the charge, but the referee Dean got pushed into that charging foul.
Yeah, Greer doesn't. He didn't actually make it outside of the circle either.
Well, you know, Steve, if you've got a foot on the line, you are deemed outside of the circle. You have to have both feet completely inside the circle to be in the no-charge circle. So I think he might have had a pinky on the circle. So he was in a technically a legal defensive position to take that charge.
Well, there we go. And he was not.
But that wasn't the issue. The issue then, they said, was Daniel Dillon pushing from behind.
No argument from Daniel Dillon. He knew he was beat as Garland gets the second of his 2 free throws, making the lead 5 for the Gold Coast Blaze. Tigers just 4 of 14 from the field, but so are the Blaze. Both teams shooting blanks offensively. Ubaka comes up short.
And they continue to really pepper the flag from the perimeter.
Brendan Tees into the game for the Gold Coast Blaze.
And that's a good play, good set by the Gold Coast Blaze, and another good pass by Jason Kadee to find Stephen Hoare. Melbourne Tigers need to post some people up. Now, right now, with the lineup on the floor, Cameron Tregar is the most likely at bat. But even some of their guards, outside penalties all over the floor, and this time Cam Tregar takes matters into his own hands and throws up a nice little shot.
I'm not sure exactly what that was.
I know it was a push sort of shot one-handed fling at the ring, but gee, it went up there soft.
Sure did. I mean, that was a tough shot. He's kind of falling away and to the right. He kind of double pumped it because there was defensive pressure on the shot, and it went up there nice and soft.
Let's put that down to confidence as well. Leading the league in scoring, shooting it at 57% from the field on the season.
With those type of shots, a lot of them.
That is some phenomenal shooting percentages for the volume of shots that he takes.
Johnny, don't hook Tom.
Gibson. He's got Cam Traga on him. Gibson flattens it out, settles for the jump shot. Can't get it to go. Dorsey with the rebound. Now it's with Ibaka. Walker turns down the early three. They get it into Traga. Some serious footwork.
Just keep going to the well.
He had Tom Garlick dipping and diving. He didn't know whether to put his hands up, down.
And the Tigers should just milk that until they figure out a formula. If they're just going to play him straight up one-on-one, just go to that all night until they come up with something else, because you really feel Cam Traga's got an advantage down there. I certainly do.
Ibaka goes right at Jason Kadee. Kadee gets the stop. Gibson skips it to Tease. Stephen Hoare with the 17-footer off the mark. Cam Traga rips it down. Less than a minute to go. Benny Lewis down to Ibaka. Posting up the smaller Jason Kadee.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. Even with the guard, Steve, you get him down low. Indo Ibaka, he's not very big, but he has a size advantage and a strength advantage, and throwing experience on Jason Kadee.
About a second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.